Hello and welcome back to the MMA Coaches Corner with our UFC 266 predictions. I am the fighter,
I'm the coach.
and together the MMA Coaches Corner is back at it with an exciting fight card, man. I can't wait for this one. The last few have been, just pretty lackluster for the most part. But they're back. They're back in big fashion this week. How are you feeling about UFC 266 there, sir?
Let's get some hype in the chat. We've been waiting for this card. That's all I got to say. It's finally here. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. I'm ready to go.
I mean, after watching my boy Jake Paul, pretty much dominate Woodley, I'm like, man, the only thing this fight was missing, some head kicks, some elbows, takedowns. I was like, I need some good MMA that I'm excited for. And yeah, like you said, they finally gave it to us. So I mean, we got a couple good prelim cards too, even. So prelims should be, pretty entertaining as well. Who was it on the prelims? We got
Dan Hooker was on the prelims.
Hooker. Ooh, after his loss to Michael Chandler. That guy, no shame in losing to Michael Chandler though. But Dan Hooker, it's going to be nice to see him come back, see how he bounces back after that knockout, and then being quarantined for like a year and just so he can go home to Australia. And so it's nice to see him back out here. How do you think he'll fare?
I think he'll do well. I think he's ready to go. So I expect him to put on that striking performance that we all expect from him.
Yeah, kind of get back to the Dan Hooker we all know and love. So yeah, and then man, it's just we'll go ahead and get on with the main card though, just to save a little time here. The first fight, Jessica Andrade, very, very powerful striker there. Got some great boxing, and if it goes to the ground, got you there too. Going against a woman who's only lost 2 times ever in Cynthia Carvalho. And, very, very good wrestler, knows how to control her opponent. I mean, very well versatile in pretty much everything. This one should be an interesting fight. It's all going to come down to a matter of control. But at the end of the day, Jessica Andrade, that's a tough task for any woman. So I'm gonna have to go with Andrade on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Andrade on this one. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, Andrade, lost to Valentina. That was a tough loss for her. She got out-grappled, outclassed. But let's be real. Calvillo, she's not the kind of grappler Valentina is. So I don't think she's going to be able to deal with the strength of Andrade because she is a very powerful grappler. She's got good clinch, good Greco up against the cage, likes to control her opponent there. So, I think she'll win the battle of the cage positioning and stuff on Andrade will, but that power is going to come into play at some point. So I'm going to take Andrade and probably a decision here. Just doing what she does, good boxing, good clinch work, and then takes it to the ground. She's comfortable there. So I'm going to take Andrade on this one.
Yeah. And I just don't really think that Carvalho has really been tested with that kind of power too that Andrade can present. So it's like once you get hit with that big power for the first time, how are you going to react? How are your muscles going to react? You know, it's get a little bit of a weak in the knee bones. You know, it's like you can't rub those out really. So uh, yeah, I think this Andrade is just going to show a little bit more power, a little more technique when it comes to the striking, and do enough on the takedown defense to, probably get the win here. And I think it could be a TKO. I think she could catch her and swarm her out for the finish. So I'm gonna go TKO on that finish.
Okay. So what do we got up next?
Up next, we have, wouldn't you know it, another great fight. All right, we got Curtis. We got Curtis Razor Blades taking on Rosenstruck.
Oh man, classic
heavy.
grappler versus striker.
Yep. Two heavy-handed dudes. One made of cement, one made of dynamite. Got a great wrestler for that weight class in Curtis Blades, so control against the cage, some takedowns would do him well. But like you said, at a certain point, that power comes into play. And you know what Curtis Blades don't have? That kind of footwork that the new champion has. Why am I blanking on his name?
Francis Ngannou.
Gain. The interim champ. Gain.
Oh, Gain.
Serial Gone. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely not as fast as him. So you're gonna have to deal with that kind of power that him and Derek Lewis present. So it's gonna be a good fight if it's not just completely hug it out on the cage fight. But I can definitely see Rosenstruck landing the big bomb to put this one away. This one definitely has potential for a highlight knockout. But I have a feeling that Curtis Blades is going to win this fight by decision. He's going to play the smart fight, the grinded out fight, the boring fight, but the smart fight against that kind of dynamite in Rosenstruck. So give me Curtis Blades by decision reluctantly.
Who'd you go with?
I went with Curtis Razor Blades.
Ooh.
By a boring decision.
All right. Back me into that corner. I'll pick Rosenstruck by knockout. I think he'll be able to stop the takedown better than a lot of people think. I think he's been working on it, more time in the gym. I think his power is always going to be there. So he just needs to land one. Curtis Blades, not the greatest striker. Not the greatest head movement, not the greatest, avoiding damage because he takes powerful punches. He doesn't just take like jabs all day. He takes power shots. So I think Rosenstruck can definitely catch him. So give me knockout in the first round. Rosenstruck.
First round knockout. I like it. It. I mean, like, the fact that this is a 3-round fight compared to a 5-round fight, I think works more in Curtis Blades' favor, though. The later the fight goes, the easier it'd be for Rosenstruck to catch him if he doesn't catch him early in the first round. It's either early in the first round or, late in the third, fourth, fifth round. So, yeah, I'm sticking with my pick. Gonna have some conflict of interest, Pick a side, dude. Line it up. Toe on the line, toe to toe. All right, so let's see who our next fight is. Oh, wouldn't you know it? An even better fight. Wow,
Who could have guessed?
not me, dude. Not me. But
Love our pay grade.
we have the return of the prodigal. It's been what, at least a decade since we've seen this guy in the UFC.
Nah, it's been like 5 years.
At least, I mean, one time in 5 years, one
Yeah,
time in a decade,
like
just about.
I don't remember his last fight, but I kind of think it was against GSP
Yeah, that should tell you how long ago
or
it's been.
Henderson Silva or something.
Yeah, I came back for one fight and then bounced again due to rules. Nick Diaz. Yes, that's right. Not Nate. Nick Diaz is back, baby. One of the most elite strikers out there to come up from the streets of Stockton, just street fighting people because there's nothing else to do in Stockton. And he's gonna take on Robbie Lawler. Yeah, so two absolute great strikers going toe to toe.
Once again,
Once again, this is gonna be wild, man. What do you think?
I'll tell you what I think. Nick Diaz Army motherfuckers.
Put him up, put him up.
Put him up. He's been on a long layoff, but the guy stays in shape. He's a born fighter. Fighting's in his DNA. I don't think he'll have any issues with. He might have a little bit of ring rust in the first, but as that fight goes on, he's going to grow stronger. And Robbie Lawler is going to grow a little bit weaker. But Robbie Lawler, dangerous, one of my favorite fighters. He really hasn't shown much in his last few fights. So it's hard to pick him right now. But this is a good matchup. I feel like both guys are kind of at the same point, like, kind of do or die right now, just to see if they still got it. So it's going to be interesting. Robbie Lawler can definitely win this fight. This is my toss-up fight. I don't really know which way it's going because it's a rematch, and so you never know how it's going to go. But I got Nick Diaz taking this fight by decision. I think he's going to put the hands on him, keep at range. And if it goes to the ground, Nick Diaz definitely has the advantage there. So give me Nick Diaz by decision.
You know what's crazy? Is that as this fight goes on even longer, it feels like Nick Diaz has the advantage in the cardio. He could swim in deeper waters than Robbie Lawler, even right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy runs triathlons and, continue fighting and training, and they do all kinds of extreme, cardiovascular training. So I don't think that, cardio will be the issue, but like you said, how much rust will be on there, how much angst, and the emotions and everything coming back to the UFC for the first time in a long time. Things have changed. He's changed. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's hard to pick a guy you haven't seen fight in a long time. So give me Robbie Lawler in an absolute slugfest, squeaking by with a split decision.
Oh.
I don't think this one's getting finished, but I think it's going to have at least. Dana White said in an interview, I think it was like Pat McAfee show or something. They were like, "Yeah, I look for about 4 or 5 holy shit moments in an event. Like when I'm putting the card together, I want people to turn to each other and be like, holy shit, did that just happen?" Dude, I think this fight could have like 3 alone. So I think that fight
Right.
alone might just meet the quota. So but I think I'm just gonna have to go with Robbie Lawler. But this is probably gonna be my one of the fight of the night for sure.
Yeah.
Whether it wins the award will be determined, you know. So let's see who our well, that was our not even our co-main event. Are they? I wish that they were gonna be like the other guys and do the 5-round fight,
Oh yeah.
even though they didn't have to. Who was it?
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Anyway, for another day. Well, our co-main event, our first of 2 championship bouts, we got the challenger, Lauren Murphy, oh, the wrestler, the grappler, the just found out I got a little bit of knockout power.
Mhm.
And I'm riding it. Coming on with a heap of momentum, Lauren Murphy, trying to take the belt from the challenger, or the champion, the one, the only, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. Oh, have we been waiting for Valentina to get back out out in the octagon again? How are you feeling for this fight?
Goosebumps, sir.
Goosebumps, sir.
This fight has me excited. This is Valentina Shevchenko is my favorite fighter, so I'm always excited to watch her fight. She's been trying to take more of a grappling approach in her last couple fights, and against Lauren Murphy, she can show that she can dominate the wrestling and the grappling and everything that MMA has to offer. You know, there's levels to this game, and Lauren Murphy is just not on that level. But I will say this, Lauren Murphy doesn't mind a dirty fight. She likes scrapping. She likes mixing it up. She doesn't mind if she gets banged up. So, you know, she's going to be a good partner for Valentina Shevchenko. She's not just going to run away the whole time. She's going to get in there. She's going to try to land what she can. She's going to try to get those takedowns. I just don't think she'll be very successful at all. Um, Valentina's worst position is on her back. So if you can get her on her back, you know, you got a shot. But I can't see Lauren Murphy keeping her on her back for 25 minutes to win a belt. It's just not going to happen. She's
I
not
don't
going to
even
outstrike her.
I
She's
don't
not.
even see her taking her down straight to her back, you know?
Yeah. So I think this is one of those fights where Valentina Shevchenko reminds everybody who she is, just a straight killer, and puts this girl to sleep with a knockout.
Yeah, it has been a while since we've seen a vintage Bullet, you know, leg kick knockout, or even just that dangerous left hand she has holstered at all times. Ah, man, but Lauren Murphy, that's a good one to do it, because at the end of the day, Valentina, why even just wrestle with a wrestler at the same point? It's like, you just want to play now? It's like, I get it. You're probably scared that if you go out there and you just keep leveling everybody, that no one will fight you. But people will fight you. But you got to go out there and keep reminding people who you are, and that's the deadliest striker out there. I mean, Amanda Nunes got the best boxing, but man, if you want someone who put it all together, you go Valentina. Um, you hear what they say about the Paul brothers when
What
asked?
they say?
So they said, how would it be if you and Amanda Nunes fought the Paul brothers? How many seconds do you think they would last with, like, you know, completely dominant strikers like you? And then she goes, probably 0 seconds, maybe 1. They have no chance. I'm like, dude, it's so funny how it's like every single good fighter has to fight the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
But it's like, even though they're freaking heavyweight, and you're like, okay, let's fight the like 145-pound women. Like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll
And
take a couple $1 million. Thank you.
yeah, it's like we really running out of potential fights or what?
Let's not forget Jake Paul's 4-0.
Yeah, 4
Logan
0.
Paul hasn't won a fight in his life.
0-2. One draw. But yeah, that problem child, man, got it holstered. He fought well too. But yeah, so I think Valentina's gonna go in there and just straight Black Widow, Natasha, and the new Marvel movies. Just go out there and just straight do work. Go out there, drop bodies, and go home. Back to work, back to the lab. So just come here, handle her light work, and wait for that, real fight to present itself. But what can you say about Valentina? I mean, dude, you could probably blindfold her and she'd probably beat half the roster. It's just impressive. So, Valentina by straight murder. I'm gonna go out and say this one's only gonna go. No, I'm gonna go out and say this one's gonna last 4 rounds. I think Valentina's gonna do exactly what you were talking about and get to that wrestling and prove her point, right? That hey, I'm the best wrestler in the division, don't matter. And then that's gonna set up the knockout in the 4th. So Valentina by knockout / TKO in the 4th.
Nice. Yeah, I got her by knockout in the 2nd. I think she'll do it quicker.
Yeah. And then that pretty much moves us on to the main event of the evening, which, hey, guess what? Potentially even a better fight. Wow. People that put these fight cards together are pretty smart, huh? So we got another title defense. We have Brian Ortega, T-City, baby. Tap City, training out there, honorary member of the Gracies, got adopted in without having to marry any of them. Just because that guy's so good. Taking on the champion, Alexander Volkanov, and the Australian phenomenon, shoot, 22 and like 1 or 2, This guy, he's technically sound everywhere. He's got some power, he's got some kicks, he's got some takedowns, he got some takedown defense, he's got some octagon control. This guy's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, got some good speed too.
Yeah. So after watching Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie, when Brian Ortega finally came back, right, and taken on Korean Zombie, who finally came back after having to serve in the Korean military, as part of their citizenship. You got to serve 2 years in the military. So he went and served and came back. And that fight, it just, every time they hit each other, it sounded like lightning hitting a tree branch, cracking it, or a car collision. It was impressive, just the amount of damage these guys could absorb. So that is a pressing concern for someone like the champion, Alexander Volkanov. He's one of those guys that's going to grind you out, try to put you away, and, stay technically sound. But against Ortega's a guy that's very instinctual. He's very off the cuff. So during a takedown, he might go for a submission. You try to take him down, he's probably pulling a Kimura. are going for a leg lock, gonna roll through, very unorthodox. Those are the guys that are hard to fight. From my days, it's easy to go against a conventional person because you can kind of pick up on what they're gonna do. But when you don't know if someone's about to do a cartwheel kick at you, do a spinning back kick to an elbow, those are the kind of combinations most people don't practice defending. So if you're going to break someone technically sound wise, you're going to have to create diversions with thinking, lull them into that false sense of security that, hey, I'm being technically sound fighter. And then all of a sudden, what the hell was that? That dude just hit me with some fucking crescent kick. What does he think he is? And that's the kind of fighter like Brian Ortega. So give me T-City new champ tonight to end the night by submission, holding up his Gracie black belt and letting everyone know that if you want some, come get some. It runs the organization and the division run through you. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think Volkanovski's he he's good everywhere, but he's not like great in any one spot. And he shouldn't take it down to the ground with Ortega, but he likes to use that wrestling to mix it up and like really show a full MMA display. But against somebody like Ortega, can you really just take him down and just hope for the best? Like, I don't think Ortega's gonna let have it.
Dude, he
And
will submit you off his back. Like if you
he'll
take him
submit you
down.
standing up. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He will just find a. And the thing I love most about Brian Ortega is he's always looking for the finish. He's never looking to lay back and play for points or try to go to the scorecard. That dude wants to finish the fight because he's a real fighter. And I think that mentality, the same that Max Holloway had, because Max Holloway won that last fight against the champion, even though they gave it to Volkanovski. So I think Ortega is just a bigger, stronger version of that going in with better submissions. And Ortega's just kind of revamped everything, new training camps, coming prepared, ready to go, whole brand new mindset. And I think that's going to carry him to the belt.
I
And
think the
so
biggest
I got
difference.
Ortega rocking Volkanovski and then finishing it with a choke.
I love it.
So
I
T
think the
City
biggest
champ.
difference with T City that has really evolved in his game is his cardio. It always seemed like he had a little bit of when he first came in, he was always like, okay, he just got that gas tank right. This guy'd be amazing. And he's got that gas tank right, dude. I haven't seen that guy gas out in a long time. So, and even in that Korean, even when this guy's pouring out blood, like most people would faint from a paper cut, a lot of people out there. Just the sight of blood makes people faint. This guy's losing like a water bottle full. And he's still just full steam ahead, not even tired. So, well, that, and he also knows how to push through it. So, I got to say, you're not going to gas out Brian Ortega either. I just don't see that happening unless you completely shatter his nose. But that's a possibility. Fighting, man. Anything can happen. But I got to go with my boy T City getting it done. New champ. Because if any belt's changing hands, it's that one. Valentina. Thinking of Valentina, lock of the night for me.
Yeah.
Yep. You got any others? Or
No.
yeah. I think all the other ones could be more toss up. Especially the first three. The first three are just completely either of them could win that fight. So Lauren Murphy, yeah. I just don't think it's your time. Now, submission of the night. Who you got?
Brian Ortega.
I think you got to go with T City on this one. Yep. The submission guru. Roll it. So, got Brian Ortega on that one. Fight of the night.
I got Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler.
Man, that's a good one. I got man. I'm gonna go with the main event. I think that Ortega Alexander the Great could be just that great. So I'll go with the main event. New champ, that vibe, you know. So
And who you got for knockout of the night?
man, you could pick any of them.
I got Valentina.
Then I'm gonna go with Rosenstruck. I think he's got the best chance for that one punch knockout. That's just gonna thrill everyone. But man, Lauren Murphy goes out there. No, can't. But who do you think could be the biggest upset of the night? The biggest underdog that could win?
Volkanovski.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. You can't really consider him an underdog. I feel like this is pretty even matchup going in, all things considered.
I mean, he is the underdog on betting odds and stuff. So
Yeah, that's crazy. The champion, you know, might just have to put some respect on his name, like Usman.
right.
But then we got, man, there's just a lot of potential on this card, and I can't wait for the fireworks to start tomorrow night. Underneath the lights, let's see who comes to fight. But all I know, I don't want to see a bunch of freaking just hugging it out on the wall, not even foot stomping each other. Like,
Yeah.
geez, like at least foot stomp. You're just gonna sit there and procrastinate, stall all night. Let's just start finding fighters for stalling. That'll get them going, like wrestling. But yeah, any other final comments here on this card before we wrap it up here?
Nah, I'm just glad to finally have a good card, something exciting to look forward to. Juiced, ready to go, fired up. Just waiting for tomorrow night.
I know, man. I'm over here like, who's my matchup? Just want to be a part of that card, man. That's a thing that's gonna be talked about for a while. I feel like for reasons unknown, reasons unseen. So, all right, we'll find out what happens tomorrow night. We'll see. We'll see. But other than that, that's gonna do it for us here at the Coach's Corner. We're gonna see you guys on the next one. Hopefully, you guys go out there and make some money. Have a good night.